Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, September 10th, 2019, which means we are ready for this week's TNT Tuesday. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Activity 5.8 Yard Art. And this can be kind of a challenge. And you've kind of read through the curriculum. You can see in a scenario basically what it is. We're going to be using scraps or waste, and we're going to go out there and create some sort of yard art. In this case, you can see I've gone out there and constructed some sort of a deer. Now, what's interesting is that part of the assignment is that students have to go out there and plug in values that they know and decide what the tipping force of this is going to be. And there are limitations, restrictions, constraints on how much this is going to be able to withstand. So what makes this very interesting is that we're going to go out there and design an inventor. We're going to pull information from inventor in order to plug in to solve for what that tipping force is. This gets very tricky. So you can see here, in my case, I've gone out here and I've opened up my assembly. All right, I've left the origin work planes on, okay, and there's a reason for that. Okay, so in order to go out there and get things like center of gravity, all right, what we're going to have to do is if I can get this manipulated right here. Here we go. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to go out here to eye properties and we're going to ask it what its center of gravity is. So when we do this, when we come up here and go to eye properties, go into the physical tab, okay, we can see this is my center of gravity. And right now, all right, what we have to look at is our X, Y, and Z. All right, in order to understand what these elements are, okay, what we have to do is come out here and focus on our world coordinate system icon. Okay, and when looking at the equation, we basically have to understand how far back the center of gravity is from the front of this deer if we wanted to go out there and solve for the tipping force. So knowing that, we can see that this element Z, okay, is what we need to be taking a look at because that's how far back the center of gravity is. So when we come over here and take a look at this, all right, we can see our Z value is like almost 78 inches. All right, that is not right, okay? And a lot of people say that's not right. Well, it is right. All right, but remember, that's referencing where that world coordinate system icon is. Okay, so if I go out here and I start moving this around, all right, that center of gravity data that we're getting in eye properties is going to change, okay, relative to where the world coordinate system icon is. All right, so in order to fix this, here's how we used to teach this, or here's how I've been teaching it for a long time, is go out there, okay, I can turn like this work plane on, return back to this, and now it's just a matter of starting to scoot this over and getting this lined up with the existing origin work planes. So in this case, I'd come out here and do a flush between this work plane and this work plane. I'll go ahead and hit apply on that, and then what I would do is come out here and do a constraint between that face and this work plane and hit apply, cancel out, and now I can see, and I'm going to tell you right now, those feet are right on that work plane, so we don't have to constrain that. And now what we can do is come out here. Okay, we can go in here to eye properties. We can go into our physical tab, and now we can see our center of gravity has drastically changed. So our Z is indicating that that's like a little bit over 8.5 inches. That is correct. All right, so that's what we'd have to do back in the day. All right, so if you think you're learning a lot at CTI in the summer, trust me, master teachers are just learning as much as you are. This is one of those tricks I saw. My friend Steve down in Frisco, Texas, he discovered this. I never knew this even existed. This is going to make this activity so much easier. So check this out. So I just opened up an IDW. This is a B size. I want to give myself enough room where I can go out there and plug in some information from my properties from the clipboard. But check this out. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to go in and bring in my yard art view. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this spun around, make sure that this is in the right direction. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and just bump this up a little bit. Maybe a little bit too much here. Let's go back down. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring in my views, my front, top, and my right. I'm going to go ahead and say OK. All right, I'm also going to come out here and I'm going to turn off, what do I need to turn off to sort of show this? Okay, so we can see our views. All right, so check this out. This is absolutely fantastic. Okay, if we come out here and we find our assembly, so if you might have to go out here and hit the expand on the view, come down here to yard art. If we right click, check this out. There is actually a center mark sort of setting for center of gravity, and it will tell you exactly where that center of gravity is. All right, so knowing what we have to know for that tipping force equation, I think it was telling us in the actual problem or scenario, we know that this force is going to be applied to the top of the back of our yard art. All right, and the other thing we have to know is basically how far this is from the front to the center of gravity. Check that out. All right, that's how easy it is anymore. No crazy constraints, within the assembly. All we have to do is go out there, turn on the marker for that center of gravity, go ahead and dimension to it. And then the last part that we're going to need to know on this is regarding our eye properties. So simple enough, we can come out here, open up our yard art. We can now come out here, go into File. Material has been applied to all parts, so I know that this is going to be correct. I go into my physical, I go hit the clipboard to copy it, and now I can jump back into my IDW, and I can come out here and I can create some text, and just go out there and paste that in. All right, now there's a whole lot of information there. You can go ahead and cut it back to what you need. Okay, but why do we do that? Because we know that we're going to have to know what the weight is. Okay, even though it says mass here, all right, that is actually going to be weight. So that's 26 pounds. So that is a variable we need to know. Okay, and then these are the other two variables that we need to know. You can plug that in for tipping force and determine, okay, how much weight that would take. How much effort that would take to push this over. So that's a really quick and easy way, to go out there and solve for that, other than, the old alternative way, or the original way I was teaching it for years, was going out there, reconstraining that all according to the origin planes. This is so much easier and so much faster. So a huge thank you to Mr. Steve down in Texas for showing me that. Love learning new things. And there you go. That's going to be it for this week's TNT Tuesday. Have a great week.